Welcome back everybody, this is Grace, and I'm here with a bit of an odd video that you'll see today. And I'll be totally upfront with my motives. One, it's an easy thing to record. Two, I think it might be fun to see my process. So we're on a random quest in Drakath Spine, except I'll reveal to you, surprised viewer, that it's not actually random. What we're doing is we're looking into a different leveling method than has been previously discussed or established. So specifically, this isn't going to be a leveling method or the optimal setup. This is actually going to be a leveling method or suboptimal setups, people without houses. If you have XP farmed without a house, you may be aware. Let's see if I have a strength drive. Don't seem to, no big deal. But if you've ever tried to grind into an account without a house, you may be aware it's kind of ass. Nobody likes killing Drakath for the 45th time, and then Xing out of the client for the 46th time or whatever. It's just not a fun time. So, I've been on the lookout for some other methods. A really promising one was actually killing Afterlife X with the Paladin Revive at level 70. Because he gives a boatload of XP. But unfortunately, the Paladin Revive is a Guardian locked ability, and I'm assuming if you're a Guardian, you probably have a house, because you can earn tokens, and it only takes 188, which is like, what, 3.5 days? So, that one didn't pan out. I think it still has potential, honestly. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a way to make it work, but I haven't figured it out yet. Anyways, there's also the Nemesis quest boss, but ever since the Nemesis rework, that guy, he's pretty strong. I think he has a damage cap too. Like, you need like a 6-hit proc and Kindred, and they don't have auto hit for that, so you need a ton of accuracy steroids. It might be possible, but I haven't quite cracked the code on that. But what I'm bringing you today is not actually a figured out leveling method. What I'm going to do is go through my process of experimenting with the leveling method. So, I learned about this quest from a random streamer. Actually, no. Let's go through the whole process. Nemu, shout out to Nemu, quite a nice dude, sent a Discord message earlier talking about, oh, there's someone streaming AQ, and I was like, hell, what a funny joke, what a hilarious idea, someone streaming Adventure Quest. No, but there actually was. I was busy though, ain't got time for that. So I went back and I watched some of the VOD. Seems like a funny fella. Did some voice acting, good for you. Actually, they somehow found AQ made, which is interesting, because they didn't mention any other AQ YouTubers. So AQ made is reaching an audience that wasn't reached by Korriban or anyone else, which I think is super interesting. Just tanked the Call Forth the Fire Dragon. I think this quest was made pre-Dragon Slayer rework, so that's like 32k damage. Anyways, so he's supposed to be established as super buff. Anyways, sorry, what was I saying? Anyways, I found this VTuber streamer streaming AQ, and they were talking about how they killed Xerxes and they leveled up to 100 from 90. And I was like, something's not right here. I've never heard about Xerxes leveling meta. What's going on? So I looked it up, I did some research, and I found out you can fight Xerxes, and he's level 140 at all levels. To be confirmed. According to the forums and according to MonsterDB, he's level 140 at all levels. It's possible there's some funky scaling stuff that isn't the case, but I believe you can do this quest even at a low level. And again, more testing required, but I'm going through the process. Actually, I know you can do it at a low level, I just don't know quite how low. So, Discord message, sent me to streamer, sent me to boss, and I was like, how hard does this boss actually hit? Because the streamer was just talking about the boss. They didn't actually, like, fight the boss on camera. Maybe they did, I didn't get that far. It was a 3-hour VOD, I'll be honest, I haven't gotten through it, through all of it yet. It was pretty entertaining though, I enjoyed it. It's nice to see someone enjoying AQ live. Anyways, so I had to look for a Xerxes fight, and I actually found Mark OO, I believe. Is that the homie? Yeah, Mark's OO. Has a video of this quest, and he gets totally washed by Xerxes, but that's not the important part. The important part is we have Xerxes on recording at level 140, which provides actual evidence in 2024 of, because this was 3 months ago, Mark XOO is, I believe, active. Let me fact check that. Okay, so the last AQ video was a month ago, but I'll still have hope. I enjoyed watching some of them, several of them. It was just casual gameplay, you know. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some damage testing on Xerxes. This is something I often do when I'm figuring out what can be done with bosses, and what can't be done. And there's actually a couple things that make this guy a lot easier to kill than he used to be. So I've estimated that Warg Rider is about the resistance, including the FO, is about the resistance you could get at level 45 for Earth. So let's see how much damage this guy does. And let's hide my Anger Linworm as well. So, 1200? Are you serious, my guy? Oh, but that was the MP attack. We don't have to... Okay. Okay, so he has an MP attack. Let's, So first off, he has an MP attack. I didn't realize that watching the video. I didn't pay much attention. But I'll get the notepad out, start collecting data. Do you like that keyboard, by the way? And let's check the battle log. 665, 647. Awesome. MP attack. 665. 647. So I also noticed it took him all the way to 0 MP. So let's see what happened. Did he lose MP or did he just attack? Am I crazy? Did he even lose MP? You guys will be giggling at me if he never lost MP and I'm just delusional. But let's drink a potion and continue. We're gonna get like a bit of a damage range for him. Maybe 10 attacks should be good. 327, 439. Awesome. Oh, okay, so it's not an MP attack. It's an alternate attack that does more damage. Are they both melee? Yeah, they're all melee. Interesting. Okay. 705, 633. So, honestly, this is not looking promising. That's an absolute truckload of damage. Yeah, 493, 607. Okay, so I'm going to speed this process up for you guys. So I'll mute the mic and just collect like maybe 5 or 10 more attacks worth of data. Okay, so at this point, you couldn't tell, but I was starting typing numbers into my notepad. At this point, I've got like 10 or 15 hits of both attack styles. I think 10, give or take, which isn't enough to have super accurate data, but it's not really a big deal because we're gonna be doing it on a low level, like we need leeway anyways. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna almost kill him. And again, he used to be like a really hard boss, but you know, it's 2024. We've gained like 30 max levels since this guy was released. And I'm hitting him a little bit to see if he has like a low health trigger, perhaps. Doesn't seem like it. I should be collecting data. I'll take a few more hits and then collect data here. But I mean, 280, that's really on the low end, so I don't think his damage range has gone up. Yeah, 270. I'd be shocked if his damage range went up. Of course, we're looking at a small sample size, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, 547 seems very similar for the shockwave attack. So, I'll conclude loosely that he doesn't really change based off his max health. So, what we now know is I've got to put these numbers in a spreadsheet so I can get roughly average damage. But the important thing is, and actually this is what I forgot to mention, Stat Revamp made this guy easier because they nerfed endurance scaling on many monsters, and this guy has 200 end, so he used to have, let me check, in the Mark's OO video that I'm linking, I'll link it in the description unless I forget. If I do forget, leave a comment telling me to remember, and I'll edit it in. But he had 3k HP in that video, and you saw at the beginning this guy had like 2.2k, so huge 800 HP less that we have to deal with. And you're wondering, how are we going to deal 2.2k on a level 45 or level 55? We've got basically two options, Kindred and H series. Potentially Pyromancer robes, but I don't really want to rely on Pyromancer robes in 2024 when Mage is going to get reworked eventually, and then Wizard comes after that, maybe. Copium, I don't know. Probably going to be post-Archmage when Wizard gets released. I'm kidding. Anyways, jokes aside, I do want to have a method that doesn't use Wizard robes. Because also Wizard training is kind of cringe. Although I did at level 39 one time. Don't know how that happened. But anyways, I'm just yapping. I'm going to pause, put the numbers in the spreadsheet, and then show you guys the results. Okay, I actually said screw it. Why not record the actual data collection? So again, you might be totally uninterested in this. Totally fine if you are, no big deal. But we're going to be copy pasting these numbers in. I didn't format them correctly. Oh well, no big deal. 647, 633, 607, 434. But I'm just showing you the process, you know. So like, the goal is I don't want to be the only person who's going through the hassle of testing these types of things. So I feel like if I show the full process, start to finish, on how to get a method like this going, it'll be a lot more, you know, like, I think showing the process will help other people be inspired to do it. Just some basic spreadsheet work here. What am I, B4, we'll go 17, doesn't matter. Means I can drag it across. So this is per hit. Oh. Damage per hit, 2 hits, just in case I forget in the future. And I have 39 res FO, because that's what I was taking. I don't think that my armor or weapon had any damage reduction passives. Certainly possible, but 99% sure they don't. So now we have the resistance required. Now we have the damage required per hit. Damage per turn, actually, let's just be 19 times 2. Yeah, should be good. So it's an absolute truckload of damage. You'll also notice, if you were watching, he's pretty accurate. So that's kind of a problem as well. But what we're going to do now is figure out what someone at level 45 or 55 could actually achieve in terms of earth defense, without much hassle. So actually, I don't want to go here. I want to go to Adder's shop. What do you have for sale? Let me see bulk. Okay, so there's a 35 and a 55. But the big thing about this is it's an FD armor. Earth is 80. Okay, what about Iron Thorn? Is that 35 tier? Yeah, it is. Okay. Tectonic Tower Shield is as well. Unfortunate. Might have to go to I have to go somewhere else for an Earth Shield. That's fine though. I kind of expected that. Let's actually leave through Vance because I'm different. Not like the other girls. Germinator, skip scene, back to town. There we go. So let's check out Yulgar at level 40. And actually, oh, this, you know, this could actually be big. He has a specific armor. I think it's called Earth Rockman or something. No, it's called Stone. Okay. Yeah, 75 Earth. So this isn't better than Bulk because Bulk is FD, but it's close. And depending on, I'm thinking depending on the shield res, it might be better. No, pretty much never actually. But we could go Stone as well as an option. It doesn't actually look like that. That's just the default. So let's look at the shields. And again, we're doing an adventurer setup, so we won't have, unfortunately, level 40 guardian shields. So we'll have to find an earth shield somewhere, but if we do find one, it'll give approximately 17 earth res. So we take 17, we take that to 80, level 45 res equals 100 minus 20 from the 80 minus 17. Okay, and so the reason we're doing this in a spreadsheet is now we can add the FD lean and other defensive multipliers very easily. So we can go E3 times 0.8, and now we're down to 50.4 res, whereas what's 39 FO? 0.39 times 1.25. Yeah, that's 48 res, so we're pretty much going to be taking the same damage in that setup. That being said, I've got to find the right earth shield for the job, but to be honest, me digging around random shops is going to be kind of boring. But that being said, let's go to Frogzard Hunter. See if he's got the Frogzard shield. Is he goated with it? 13. No, not good enough. Okay. So we'll have to go back and find one later. But anyways, so that's the expected earth resistance that we're going to be running with here. And so, oh, you can't even see. I didn't even pan over to the spreadsheet. But I'm trying to think if we have an earth res misc that you can get easily. Okay, so what you're looking at now is my defensive misc guide, publicly available, by the way. I can link it in the description, but I'll probably forget. When I'm looking at the miscs, none of these are that. Honestly, the best is probably Mystic Plug, because a lot of people will get that anyways for Sizzler Explosion, but they're only going to be getting that if they do House Guard farming. So like we don't really want that. What I'm also going to do is check Earth Defensive. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't updated the complete defensive misc guide in a while. So I'm checking out my weekly releases document, but I don't see any defensive miscs for Earth in there. That might be easy to get. If it was like fire damage or something, we could use the new heroic misc. But it seems like getting an Earth misc, like you'd have to go out of your way to get it, which is a bummer, but not necessarily a deal breaker. But the thing is, we only have to deal like approximately 2.2k damage goal. We only have to deal 2.2k. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my level 45 that I have laying around somewhere. I got to find the right account, so it'll take me a second. And then I'll show you guys the damage output we're getting. Okay, level 45 account, strength build. It's going to be strength or dex in this situation. I had to vault over the H series from another account. I never changed my usernames, by the way, from that one time I was trolling. As for highest damaging weapon at level 45, let's take a quick look at Yulgur. But I think it might be the Heroic Titan Axe, or Heroic Titan's Fist. But the Heroic Titan's Fist is a blood blade, and you can get it from the Ballyhoo shop. But the thing is, it trades its 0 proc bonus for a status, and the status is not going to pump out numbers against, obviously, level 140. Never going to inflict, or almost never. I'm trying to think if Nightmare Mace, I don't think it has a damage MC. I think it has a harm compression MC, which we don't really want. Energy Flail, let me actually check the stats on this thing. Hold on. Okay, I realize this is actually another part of the process I can show you guys. Basically figuring out if Energy Flail is on modern standards. So I got the Energy Flail subs up. Level 45, we're looking at 10 to 22 with 6 BTH. And also, you can see it was updated in 2014. It seems to have the plus 9% damage for not having a special. But let's compare that to a level 35. Actually, let's just compare it to the weapon we're talking about. Heroic Titan. Yeah, there we go. So let's compare it to what we'd be using with Heroic Titan. Heroic Titan, we would have melee ranged 12 base, 5 random. So average of like what? 14? 13? 14.5? 4 BTH. Versus 10 to 22, average of 16. Yeah, give or take 16. We also have a negative BTH lean, so 16 times 85 over 81. And then we'll also add in the no proc bonus. It's additive, but it doesn't matter at this stage. Like 18 damage average versus we're starting at 14.5 here with plus 20% damage, but no. So that's Energy Flail, and now we're starting at 14.5 times 1.2 because it's a blood blade. 17.4 damage versus 18.3. I think that's pretty conclusive. I also might have undershot Energy Flail's average damage by like half a damage point or something. I don't know, who cares? But Energy Flail, unless I'm missing something, Energy Flail should do more damage. Oh no, but the fists also have a -5 BTH lean. Oh, you know what? I misremembered. They only do plus 10% damage with the weapon attacks. It's the magic spells that are 20% damage. So, so definitely Energy Flail is going to be better because it's level 45 than the level 35 weapon. So, with that being said, let's switch back to Adventure Quest and buy Energy Flail for some testing. So you'll notice I do have the Iron Thorn Shield. That's part of the plan. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should assume the Iron Thorn Shield. We can think about that later. We're going to iron it out then. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to... Actually, I don't want to go to Bracken because that has high energy res. So Xerxes has 100 energy res. You might not have noticed it because you were watching the video and listening to me yap. But I did because obviously I'm thinking about the method. So we'll use a pretty normal setup. H-Series Overdrive. Let's look at the damage we output here. Oh, that's not looking promising. So if we're able to hit our hits, we can do probably, let's see, I don't know. Not that much, all in all. So if we're hitting like not above 200 and we're getting 4 hits, that's like maximum 400 damage. So I'll be honest, this is not a surprise. I'm not shocked by this outcome. I was pretty sure we were going to need Kindred the whole time, but I wanted to see if it was possible. So with that being said, there are other energy damage amps I could make, but nothing to 10x the damage from like 200 or 400 to 2000. So I'm going to pause, vault over Kindred, and then let's see what we can work with here. Okay, so I did some Kindred charging off screen. Yes, I have a level 45 copy of Kindred. And I'm proud of it. No, I'm kidding. But let's just, I mean, again, one attack isn't gonna be, oh, 268. What the hell? Maybe this weapon isn't as good as I thought. Let's try it with a different weapon, actually. Do I not have strength trained or something? Is this a dex weapon? What's going on? Interesting. I would have thought Kindred would have done a lot more damage. So let's actually grab the Heroic Titan weapon. Actually, let's do one more hit to make sure it wasn't like a super low roll. But again, this is pretty shoddy data collection. If you were gonna like publicize a method, like I hope to eventually, I'll do more robust data collection. Oh, okay, now we're getting out the numbers. Yeah, so this is probably possible. Let me check real quick Xerxes MRM. Okay, I was unable to check, but I assume it's gonna be pretty high. So we're gonna need an auto hit weapon to deal with him. You know what? I'll be right back. Actually, I am gonna check. Okay, yeah, he's got 100 melee defense and range, which we might also be using. So I am going to quickly, actually, shoot, I might have to do a ranged account. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly get an auto hit weapon over and see if the damage is within the threshold we need. Okay, so I just did a pause and I vaulted over some pretty important items. Now what I'm going to do is untrain my stats. Obviously not going to show my password because don't want to show my password obviously. So I'm on a level 45. I've done a ton of ballyhoo for some data collection, so I don't know how much I'm actually supposed to have. If we look at the ballyhoo chart, let me see if I can pan this over for you guys. Okay. Okay, my scenes on OBS are totally messed up, but not important. If we check level 45, we should be getting about... It must be a typo. It must be 1700. Anyways, not relevant. It might not be, actually. We should be getting about 15k per on average. The graph, you know, not a perfect data collection source, but we're getting about 15k per. So let's say we can spend 60k on stats. Let's see, that's 75k, so we'll have to go down to 190. Seems reasonable. This is assuming you've gotten 4 Ballyhoo videos level 45. I think the rest will throw it on end, just because no real reason. So you might notice our HP is not enough to tank one of his hits, because we just found out his hits, even with optimal defensive gear, are hitting for like a boatload. Like, yeah, like 700 or more. So, with that being said, we are gonna subvert the problem by not letting him hit at all. And some of you might guess where this is going, but we are going to be using the one adventurer-friendly quick cast celerity source. Retro Nightmare Plate. So, let's take this setup to... Actually, I was going to say let's take the setup to Combat Practice Trainer. But first I have to do a couple things. So, doesn't really matter what shields you have, doesn't really matter what pet. We're going to be using Retro Nightmare. And I'm using Essence Orb just to refill my SP. You don't actually need to do this. Let's see what clan am I? Dynami, of course. Basically, we're going to be using the Nightmare skill. And then the Olympics Medal and Power. So that'll give us 2 1.25x damage modifiers, and it'll give us Celerity to use with our Kindred armor. So I'm going to charge up Kindred, change my clan to Igneous, and I'll get back on to you with some damage testing in just a minute here. Igneous forever, baby. I'm lying, I've never given a damn about Igneous. But anyways, let me charge some Kindred real quick. And we'll be ready to go. Okay, Kindred is charged. And we're just going to run the setup and see how it goes. So let's equip the Misc. Go to Nightmare Plate, we're already there. Use Nightmare, we have 2 turns of Celerity and the Elemental Empowerment. Let's use the Metal. More Elemental Empowerment for Fire. Let's toggle on Auto Hit. And Secret Tactic, Ranger Only Tech. Level 35 Moonwalker's Grace, exactly 134 MP. You can use it until like level 49, I want to say. Gives you full 84 dex boost. So now we go to Kindred. And I'm pretty sure we're going to pump out some numbers here. You could probably find a shield to boost the damage just slightly, but yeah, okay, so double 600. And again, roughly double 600. That's 2400 auto hit fire damage. Xerxes has 100 fire res. So this is a new power leveling method for people without a house. Pros and cons. You need Kindred. The items required are Kindred, Blazing Argent Point, and Olympics Unity Medal. Everything else is pretty easy. Definitely some cons to this method. One, you have to go get Kindred. Luckily, there's a YouTube guide for that. Self-plugs aside, that will take you some time. But again, if you don't have a house, you don't really have good options. Like the supposed meta is killing Drakath and then killing like Queen Hybe. Like, you don't want to do that in 2022. 2024. Whoa. Anyways, also the quest to get to Xerxes is a little bit long, but by a little bit long, I mean will take you slightly over 5 minutes. I'm not going to do that in this video, but overall, new power leveling option discovered for low-level adventurers. I would highly recommend this compared to killing Drakath. Much more interactive. You get to do a quest every time. You get to actually feel accomplished. And if you're wondering how much XP Xerxes gives, Xerxes battle on. Let's see if I can pull this up. See if my scenes are fixed. They're not fixed, but it's fine. He gives 1.2 mil. So you're set until like level 300. I don't know. You're set until like the 90s, and by the 90s, actually I don't know what you can do by the 90s. I'd have to figure that out. But this guy will gold cap. This guy will XP cap you until the late 70s, give or take. XP cap you in a single fight, to be clear. And that's why it's good. It's nice to have. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, new leveling tech discovered, and I hope that what's going to be longer lasting is showing you guys this process of how to research items, bosses, damage, weapons, outgoing damage, and figuring out strategies to take stuff down. If you know of other bosses or other quests that let you fight guaranteed high levels, definitely let me know, because they could be much better than Xerxes, and they might be easier too. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this educational, but like in a weird way, type of video. I'm curious. But either way, have a great day. Spread some peace and love, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.